What's happening, Octo family? We got some WorkHorse news. Jim Cramer, let's get this out of the way. What did he say about WorkHorse? Is a bit of a show horse for Cramer. If he wanted an EV stock, he would buy Plug Power. Does that make sense to anybody? Does anyone know what Plug Power is all about and why that doesn't make sense at all? Is this guy just running his mouth? Can someone answer that for me down in the comments? All right, we got some more news. WorkHorse receives purchase order for 500 C1000 all-electric delivery trucks from Pitchcar companies for a national fleet program with identity inventory finance program provided by Hitachi Capital of America. So again, this is why that Hitachi thing was big, because now they're even going to handle all the financing and stuff for them. These guys, again, are just flying by the seat of their pants, and they're happy they went along and got some help. An American technology company focused on providing sustainable, low-cost drone and integrated electric vehicles last-mile delivery sector announced today that has received the purchase order. The inventory financing will be provided by Hitachi as part of the previously announced strategic partnership with them. Vehicles will be distributed through Pitchard's company's dealership locations across the country. Throughout its 107 years of operating history, Pitchard Company has developed a robust national network of partners as one of the nation's largest commercial vehicle distributors, selling over 30,000 units annually to customers across 50 states. With a significant order and agreement from Pitchard, we can build upon our nationwide distribution network and expand the number of potential fleet customers that will be able to operate and own a WorkHorse delivery truck, said the CEO. Along with Hitachi's financing programs, Pritchard will be able to offer fleet customers a variety of flexible options to start using our last mile delivery vehicles, lowering the barrier to entry for adoption and enabling total cost of ownership advantages from the outset. Just making it easier to buy, because before people had to pay cash. I mean, you can't walk into Wells Fargo and say, hey, can I get a loan for this WorkHorse van? Like, I'm like, what is a WorkHorse? I'm like, let me do the Kelley Blue Book, look up on it, see what it's worth, and be like, we can't put a worth on it. How are we going to give you a loan on it? Hitachi's going to help. I guarantee there's a massive problem with selling these rigs. Is people are like, how can I get financing? Now they got it. We see this initial 500 vehicle purchase as being the first of many future orders and look forward to the growing WorkHorse relationship from 2021 and beyond. We appreciate the opportunity to be one of the first companies to commercially offer the state-of-the-art all-electric vehicle for our fleet customers. With the market acceptance will be resoundingly positive and swift. They're sure to us, WorkHorse is a significant milestone in electrification last mile delivery trucks, said the GM Transportation Financial head for Hitachi. We are proud to be the financing partner for this impact. It's lightweight. We know the stuff about it. Sweet, right? All right, let's get into the third quarter results that were announced today also. They set a 2021 production volume target of 1,800 vehicles, which is good. It's better than 100 or 200 or whatever, but it's still not 10,000 or 50,000. Received a purchase order for 500 trucks. That's one we just went over. Through various financing, the company improved its current cash position to over $260 million. Should allow them to really ramp up this vehicle production. This still seems kind of low, but again, I think, even with the USPS contract, if and when that is announced, they're probably going to need some time, because let's say they order the rigs, they know that they still have to set up the EV charging stations. Who knows how long that could take? That could take 6 months to a year to 2 years or longer, Who knows? Hopefully they hook up with ChargePoint, right? But regardless, this number, I'm sure, could drastically increase once they get that official contract. I think that's kind of what they're waiting for. WorkHorse strategic partner Lordstown Corporation completed its merger with Diamond Peak Holdings. Class A shares now trade on the NASDAQ under RIDE, RIDE ticker. Y'all on that one too. WorkHorse maintained its 10% ownership stake in the merged company. That stake is estimated at nearly $285 million based on the November 6th closing price, which is huge, dude. I love, having income from other companies. It's awesome. Partnered with Hitachi Capital, company's manufacturing, operational, and supply chain capabilities, as well as developing national dealer network to support WorkHorse sales and vehicle financing options for both dealers and customers. Recorded additional new vehicle sales orders from Fluid Systems and E-Truck LLC. Y'all heard of that? Their strategic partnership has paid off very quickly, as evidenced by our 500 truck order. We believe this initial sale is start of channel growth. Previously, we produced 300 to 400 vehicles to be produced by the end of 2020, most the fourth quarter. Although we still manufacture and deliver in Q4, it will be sustainably lower amount than our previous guidance. To me, these numbers are so low. It's like, even if they go lower than 300 to 400 like they were hoping, to me, I'm just like, okay, whatever. We want to get to the thousands, the 5,000s, the 10,000s, come on. We're unable to give a specific estimate for the following reasons: inability of our providers to supply the batteries. They're blaming it on the battery suppliers. They need to blame it on themselves. That's what they need to do. It's the CEO's fault. The volume's due to the CVID, and CVID having more than 36% of our production-related staff currently out with the virus or quarantine away. It's really hard to believe there. But, I'm sure there's lots of people who are just claiming they got it so they can get unemployment or something, right? To do that, we have modified our assembly process, limiting production support from third-party sources and delayed planned additions to our assembly staff. Okay, yeah, we saw that they were hiring more people and all that. We view this as only a delay in our process. We've introduced several new battery suppliers options to our supply chain, and we'll have supplemental volume additions in the first quarter of 2021. While we cannot predict the full impact of CVID right now, let alone in 2021, with the conditions approved, it could hurt them, but they're approximately 1,800 units by next year is what they're hoping for. So they're talking about multiple battery suppliers. We already know Romeo, our MG ticker, is going to be the USPS maker of those batteries. And I'm sure they're fine busting them out. But, they have multiple vehicles. I'm sure, like they're saying, they have multiple sources they're pulling them from. I think they're kind of just trying to ease the pain on that, though, and say, we have multiple sources we can pull from. They probably really only have like one. October 2020, they received a purchase for the 500 trucks. October, they submitted a formal type certification application to the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, for the company's Horsefly, the UAS, the Unmanned Aerial System. That's great. Received approval from New York Truck Voucher Incentive Program. That was big. So New York is going to help pay for electric vehicles. Closed $200 million in convertible note financing from institutional lenders and converted pre-existing $70 million note into shares of the company's common stock, altogether providing WorkHorse $260 million cash. September, they achieved an improved and industry-leading change of approximately 160 miles per charge under urban situations in the 2020 model C1000. That's great. Entered into strategic agreement with Hitachi. In August, WorkHorse strategic partner Lordstown. Talked about that. In July, they awarded an executive order from California Air Resource Board. That was big, the CAR board, for the clean air impact. That's great. And the third quarter financial results. Sales of third quarter 2020 were recorded at $565,000 compared to $4,000 in the quarter of 2019. That's a drastic improvement. Can you imagine having a company, though, that only did $4,000 in the quarter last year and then did that the next year? That's why these guys are having trouble keeping up, right? I mean, going from 4,000 sales a year ago to $500,000, it's a big deal. Cost of goods sold increased to $2.8 million from $1.4 in the third quarter of 2019. The increase was primarily driven by increase in labor and materials related to cost of the C-Series production. That's fine. Selling general and administrative expenses increased $6 million from $2.6, of course. The research and development expenses were $1.6, which was flat compared to $1.6 in 2019. So they haven't been doing R&D. They already did the R&D. It's done. They know what they need to do. They just are trying to catch up. Interest expense net increased to $74 million compared to an interest expense set net of $5.9 million in the same period last year. They're just growing, right? Net loss was $84 million compared to a net loss of $11 million last year. Due to increased interest expense, just noted, as you all know, in this company, they are ramping up. People want these things. They are so far behind right now, which is a fantastic problem to have as long as they can conquer it. I think they're doing a good job. They're pairing with Hitachi. They're pulling the money. They got the money. They're waiting on the massive USPS contract. They can't even talk about it yet, so they're still just sitting in limbo on that. all while trying to provide batteries, and battery people are like, we can't provide anything right now. And so, it's tough, but I think they're doing it right. 4.5% convertible notes to exchange for a full $70 million outstanding principal amount on those existing notes for the shares of the company's common stock. Currently, the company has cash balance of $260. Yeah, I think doing good. What's up with stock tickers? Where we at in the graph? Well, we didn't hit this line down here. Well, I guess we did. Yeah, the 1540. Bounced around about it. It's what we thought. It's pretty much going to be the floor until if and when the USPS is announced. Dude, this thing has almost been cut in half since these all-time highs that we've hit twice, which is crazy. Yeah, we've got a big McDonald's M here. You see it, and the backside of the McDonald's M went below the middle of the M, and that's one of the reasons it kept going down. As for charting, what does it look like now? It's looking like it's getting kind of tight, right? We could follow this down here and call this a massive pull flag if you want. Regardless, I think this, people are just still waiting for that USPS contract. It is what it is. RMG, watch that ticker too. That's a supplemental, another play to make money on this if and when that's announced, the USPS contract. As far as entry, I'd say it'd probably be a decent entry right now, for sure. I mean, we're still in a company where the numbers are not going to look good for at least a year. At least a year, the numbers aren't going to look good other than projected, which is fine. How many companies are relying on projected income and sales right now? And it's EV. I could still see this thing go, even without the USPS contract, all those orders and stuff. I don't know. It'll go pretty well. Regardless, take a look at my other videos if you want to learn how to hedge against this too. And we got Ford and all those other ones to get in also. Are y'all still in this, just holding, or did you all sell out and are waiting to get back in? Are y'all sitting in calls, options, or are you just buying normal shares? Let me know in the comments. Thanks again for watching this video. We also have a Patreon where we slide you deals before most folks. Might get this video a little bit before the rest today. Y'all take care and have a good rest of the day.